Welcome to another episode of the Total R&B podcast. My name is Loreena, and today I am joined by a singer, songwriter, and producer from Brampton, Ontario. You can catch some of his latest singles on all streaming platforms, as well as some videos on YouTube. We have Last Page, Conversations, Young and Reckless, that's currently out now. He also opened up for Black on his Toronto tour stop for Since I Had a Lover tour, which we're going to get into. And his debut EP is coming out really, really soon. So I'm going to try and get all the information I can about that. But welcome to the podcast, Rhyan Douglas.
Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be here. And thank you, Total R&B, for having me.
Of course. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to speak with me. So I'm really excited to get to know who you are as an artist as well as your music. So I always start off the podcast the same way whenever I have a first time guest. What comes to your mind when I say, what is your first memory of R&B music?
My first memory of R&B music was definitely Donny Hathaway's Song for You.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's a classic song. I love that song.
Definitely Donny Hathaway Song for You. I used to listen to that song until I'd fall asleep.
So what did that song, what feeling did that song unlock for you?
Honestly, just seeing someone be very vulnerable and also making it sound very musical and making it almost make you feel like you are him in the moment. And that really spoke to me, especially knowing that he's a grown man, he can be so vulnerable. I'm like, yo, that means not every man is so tough, right? So it really, I kind of say that really highlighted something in me, so I can try and do that myself later on in my career.
No, of course. And I think you do tap into that as well, because a lot of his music is the same thing. He just evokes this emotion. You just feel really connected to the song. Whether you went through something similar to what he's speaking to or not, you just really feel whatever it is that he's singing about or whatever he was going through. So you get that. And then I do get that in some of your songs that I've listened to so far. So that's super dope that's a memory that popped up first in your head about that. So about you, when did you know you wanted to become a singer?
I could say my whole life was so involved around music, I would have to be somewhere in the arts department. But I think it kind of stuck out to me when I was getting a bunch of solos in church.
Okay.
Yeah, the choir director would sauce me a little solo here and there, and then almost became every song that I have was a solo, and then almost be a whole full song I'm singing by myself. And then I'm singing before the pastor goes and preaches a sermon. And then at school, I realized the same thing was happening. So the teachers would start giving me solo. Low-key, my French teacher, my homeroom teacher, started giving me French songs to sing during class. So in grade 5, he would go in the gym and play the piano and just have me pull up with him and we'll go through some French songs together. So I think around those times I realized wow, people really support this dream of mine. So I was maybe why not just try and take it to the roof, you know?
Okay. So it was always a dream in the back of your head. I guess
Yeah.
the people around you kind of letting you take on these solos or, sing during class or whatever, that kind of just confirmed.
Yeah, it made it real. Okay, yo, people actually can see something. So let me try and subconsciously just work on it.
Okay.
As I get older and whatever.
And so what steps did you take to get to where you are now? What are some things that stand out that really you feel maybe helped you?
A lot of trial and error, I would say. And one big thing I did that a lot of people I feel did too at that time was just go straight to voice training, I would say, or vocal training, vocal technique training, how to actually protect your voice from straining, how to take care of the voice, how to know how to sing, how to know what song loves your voice more than what you love. Because sometimes you should be, very conscious of the decisions you make with your voice. Because this is your moneymaker. This is your toolbox in a way, So, yeah, I think vocal lessons was big for me.
Okay. And your music is described as folk soul, which we don't often hear the word folk when it comes to Black music. it kind of gets, put on to other artists. So, your opinion or your definition, what is folk soul?
I mean, my description of folk soul is purely based off of my experiences, I guess, through like high school, like middle school, growing up. So growing up in a predominantly like white high school, I would say throughout my life, I kind of like heard a bunch of those songs and had to like almost just live through it. And I grew a liking to it. So I took it in more often. And then obviously my love for R&B was just in me since I can remember. And when it came to making my own music, I often started songs like a folk song, I would say. And then
Okay.
I'd build it into a different record later on. But I always started in that world. And I feel like I've always stayed connected to it because it feels like that is what helps me write music in the first place. That's where I started writing music, and I took it somewhere late. I took it somewhere, I think, more into the R&B world later on when I could really tighten the sound. So I
Okay.
feel yeah, folk is where I
No.
started writing. It's where I had my breakthrough, I guess.
No, but that's super dope. And I like that, a lot of times, like I had the same experience too, living here in Montreal. A lot of times, the schools, you're kind of the minority that's there. But that's where I got exposed to a lot of different music that wasn't played necessarily in my house.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that also helps you. Sorry?
Kinda cool though sometimes, it's like, "Damn, I didn't know I liked this." Like, it's like, I didn't know I liked some of the songs that I heard back then, but I was like, "Damn, kinda fire." Like, I could put some on my playlist. I could put on my playlist.
No, definitely, but I think it helps you, especially someone who is a creative and an artist. I think it really helps you, with your sound, and now you figured out what your sound is, and it's something that's unique to you. You don't sound like everybody else because not everybody is doing that, blending the 2 together. So, I think that's super dope, and I think a lot of people are going to, as they continue to discover you, really be into that difference, that uniqueness that you have. I also saw on, I think, your social media pages, you play instruments.
A little bit. I wouldn't say I'm the best, but I do get my way around it. I do
Oh,
play piano and guitar. Guitar is more recent. Piano, my mom put me in piano from, like, when I was a young boy.
okay.
Quit. But I always, like, still played because it just was very, very, like, soothing. It was very
Oh,
really fun to play. But
and which one do you prefer?
I love piano. I prefer piano, but guitar is, like it just gives you a whole different, I think, feel. Cause like, I guess every string you have to play, but piano,
Mhm.
like, playing the actual, like, 3 strings, it's like a thing hitting it, right? So, I feel
So,
like yeah.
do you see yourself like really sticking to the guitar? Like this is something that's going to be a part of like your performance in the future?
I think it can only get that way or get that far if I take lessons. I feel like I'm not that consistent with guitar. I
Okay.
kinda pick it up when I just feel whenever I
Mhm.
feel, and then, like, I just play around, but I feel like if I were to take lessons and take it serious, then I can say that I might just take it further and perform with the guitar. Because 'cause I'll be so nervous. My hands will get sweaty and I might miss a string. I don't know, like, the nerves might kick in, like, halfway. So, I don't know, I'm not that confident, but piano, I could sing and play piano at the same time for sure.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. But I don't know. I could see the guitar being your thing like later down the line.
I
I don't
mean,
know.
hopefully, maybe you might be the one to spark that in me so I could actually do it. You might have me take lessons now soon. I might have to just find someone to teach me guitar.
No, I don't know. I feel like it goes. I see, like, I thought you honestly, like, were doing this for, like, a little bit because I know you said it was new, but, like, I don't know. I don't know. I see it. I wanna talk about, you opening for Black because that's a big deal.
Mhm.
His tour was amazing. So you got to open up, when he stopped in Toronto. So how was that experience for you?
It was crazy. I mean, me and Black knew each other from some time before that, and, we've had a bunch of conversations. We hung out a few times, and, when he was on tour and he was on his way to Toronto, I realized I was dropping that same time. And I was like, damn, like I'd love to like, like share the stage with my bro and also sing my debut single with someone who knew me before I had anything out and who knew me in my cocoon stage.
Yeah.
So I hit him and I was like, yo, how about I perform History? And he was like, yo, pull up. I was like, damn, that like just like that. I was like, damn, like, and then he had me pull up to the show. I sang and like seeing everybody like in my hometown almost just see something new was
Mhm.
so fire. And see someone of such magnitude bring someone from the GTA even, like
Yeah.
Brampton, even not Toronto, like Brampton to a show and have him perform 2 nights. It's like I'm forever grateful and I thank him a million times for the opportunity. It done so much for me and it helped people, be more on cue with what's going on in my life and my career. And it's also just more, I say, practice for when I go and perform live myself. I really appreciate the gesture of him letting me do that. And I'm so happy that that happened, really.
No, that's dope, and I like that you took that chance to, like, just message him to ask, because a lot of people would have been like, "Oh, I don't know if I wanna, like, bother him or
Huh.
ask for that." So, I like that you took that chance, you shot your shot, and he was just like, "Of course, why not?"
There's that thing, what, you miss 99% of the shots you don't take?
Mhm.
So and also, like, he's my homie, so it's all love, like, we definitely spoke about shows and performances, like, prior, but him being on tour and him actually just giving me the time, because I hit him up late, it was around 3 a.m., so
Oh, of that day.
yeah, so I'm even glad he picked up, so it was like, like, it was like
Wow.
sure.
And what's something like, has he given you any advice along the way, or what's something you've learned from him, from his career?
Definitely a lot on the men's mental health
Okay. Yeah.
and how to find peace within, how to deal with things as being a young man in the music industry, how to often be a good stand-up gentleman, and how to also provide, because it's it's real when it comes to like, when it comes down to when everything sinks in, there's, like, a lot of pressure sometimes, and he was showing me sometimes, like, you do need to go to therapy, like, for real, like, pride aside. It's like sometimes you do need to talk to someone, pride aside, like, sometimes you do need to sit with your emotions and really jot down how you feel, really and, I started journaling and everything, I picked up a few books, and I'm pretty much on that path of just trying to recenter, so, yeah, he really helped me with, like, I'll think off the record advice. So like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, like real life advice about how to be like a proper, like growing young man. Definitely like a strong male figure in my life too.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so amazing that he was able to offer you that advice, because a lot of people don't talk about the mental health aspects that artists go through. Because I
Yeah.
feel like today it's a lot, especially with social media. You're just exposed to so many people, and you get everybody's opinions coming at you, like, so quickly. So, no one really thinks about the toll that it could take on someone.
Yeah.
Wow.
He really dialed down on that for me. And we did that all by just playing FIFA. We're just playing video games. We're just talking. So that's why it's just like, yo, it's like almost like big bro to me. So
Mhm.
I'm very appreciative of our relationship. And shout out Black for real.
Yeah, that's dope. So you're getting ready to release your debut EP. So what can you tell us about the EP, like the name, who produced it, all the things?
Um, so the name of my EP is called Circles.
Okay.
And I could say it's I'll give you how many songs. So it's
Okay.
nine it's 9 songs.
All right. That's a lot.
That's a lot. And
Mhm.
I'm glad it was 9 and it wasn't 10. I'm glad it wasn't 8. I'm glad it wasn't 7 because I really think the 9 songs gets the point across perfectly.
Okay.
The songs are produced by just A bunch of my friends. So, like,
Wow.
let's say, like, a lot of my friends, like, Wonder Girl, Eli Brown, Tehran, Othello, like, a bunch of my homies, Meiji Gray, like, and I'm glad that my friends could produce this with me, you know? It feels like I just made this in my backyard or, like, in the garage. It feels like a passion project for class. I have, like, a Prezi, like, to do, and I have to, like, show my you know? So, like yeah, so yeah, that's produced on the project, but I'm very excited. Comes out next month. Com
Okay.
Comes out next month, and, just be prepared for a bunch of, storytelling, a bunch of, I would say, emotion, but almost controlled emotion. Not too emotional to where, like, "Yo, like, this guy's done. This guy's cooked." I think I think it's just enough to where you can almost sense where I was at that point in my life in the circles phase. And I want people to feel as vulnerable as I was in those songs while listening to it. But to also create their own narrative of it so it lives within them in their own way. And whoever comes around to it, I feel will get to say, yeah, this album made me feel this and this way, this way, this way, that way. So it's kind of cool. So look forward to that.
Where did you get the name from, Circles?
Circled, honestly, I was gonna call it. Should I say what I was gonna call it before? I was gonna call it summer break before,
Oh, okay.
and then I kind of came to the terms of like making it shorter, and I was like, how can I make this more impactful with one word?
Oh,
And I was
okay.
like, let me find a word. I was like, let me just find a word, and then I think along the lines of me looking for a word, I can't stop, and I just like, yo, like circles. One day I just said circles. And I was like, whoa, circles might be crazy. And then I say circles because almost I see life as just a big full circle. And full circle moments happen almost every time in my life. And I'd say that would go for my relationships to my work relationships and my personal relationships. And even just like with people with my work, I guess people I meet, sometimes I met people when I was so young and they didn't want to work because I was young and I had time. And then later on down in life, it's like now we're working now. But like I was like almost like the same. That's like full circle moment. Like we're here together now, but we met back then. And like I've been experiencing a bunch of those, and it's happened in a bunch of ways I can't even describe. And that's why I put it in the song and I called it circles because I can almost describe it perfectly well, like in music form, rather than just telling you out loud how I feel. So that's where the name from.
But it also sounds from you explaining that, like, it's always a confirmation that you are where you're supposed to be at this moment. Like,
Mhm.
you're in the right place right now. So, all those people coming back around to work with you, that's dope. And then also too, what you were saying about, like, the different emotions that you're evoking on the songs that are on the EP goes back to, like, a Donny Hathaway. So, some of the songs that I got to hear, that's how I was like, when you said Donny Hathaway, I'm like, "I get it,"
Yeah.
because you were evoking those emotions and you just connect to the songs that you have. So I think that's dope. I'm excited for it. I can't wait to listen next month when Circles comes out. I do want to talk about some of the songs that you currently have released that everybody can go listen to if they haven't already. So, one of my favorites is Conversations.
Conversations. Fire.
Love that song. Can you tell the people who maybe don't know what that song is about and how that came together?
Wow. Kind of exposing me right now.
Oh, no.
So basically, this song I made in Vancouver.
Okay.
And I took a trip to Van to go see a few of my homies and just work on some music. And eventually, this was the same time when Drake actually pulled up to Van for his "Is It for All the Dogs" tour.
Oh, yeah, that's the last one.
He was in Vancouver around these times, and I went to the concert, and then after that, I went to a party and I met this girl, and then I kind of just was talking to her almost the whole time I was there, and I ended up writing songs about her while she was like in the room with me at the same time, and I kind of just made a song about her, and like I described it, and I almost put it in a way where like she didn't know I was talking about her.
Okay.
So like I was playing it off like, oh, I was writing this off the top. Like it's crazy. Like she's in the room watching me go crazy, but it's almost just talking about her. And it's a blessing that my homie Elkan sent me that conversation, the conversation loop, and it almost was like the perfect like catalyst for the song to be actually what it is now. And she was definitely a catalyst for the record too. I would say she played a big part. But yeah, it was almost just me just talking about my experience with this one girl in Vancouver and how it impacted me at that time. And conversations is definitely like everything that happened.
But that's so dope that you were able to just on the spot in that moment create that song right then and there. I think that just also showcases your talent. Didn't mean to expose you, but it shows like how talented you are to be able to get that together like that in that moment when
I
that person
mean,
is there, because that could be also very like intimidating.
I mean, at that point, like I wasn't even like I didn't even like see her in the room. I was almost like just like really just trying to write something, and I
Hmm.
ended up just like talking about her, and at that point, I was like, wow, like you can really like find inspiration in like many different ways. Like even just someone being in the room alone. Like she might think I'm like trying to go crazy because she's in the room, but like low key, like I have an idea. I'm trying to get off. You know what I'm saying? Like it's cool how you can be inspired in like different settings, different areas, out of your comfort zone, in your comfort zone, and just like actually come out with something kind of crazy. So yeah, Conversations was definitely a lovely track, and I'm glad to see where it's at now.
No, it's super dope. Like if anybody hasn't heard that song, like what are you doing? Go and stream it. It's so
Please
good.
go listen to Conversations. It's a lovely track. It almost feels like a chant.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Definitely. Another one I wanted to go through was Last Page.
Last page. Last page. Wow. That song. You know what's funny? That song, we wrote that song to every movie of Rush Hour, like every Rush Hour movie, the whole series.
Really? Okay, now I have to go back.
Like we watched the whole Rush Hour series and like made that song the same night. It was actually the most craziest and like funniest process ever. And honestly, like making that song with my boys was so fire because it was almost like I was coming around a lot more to the studio that those times, and I
Mhm.
was catch like a rhythm and just like working and having like I get flow and recording and producing. And the cool part about it is that while making that song, I had never thought I could like explain how I felt about certain things.
Okay.
And that's a song where I felt I was like most vulnerable.
Mm.
'Cause I was telling people that I got done dirty. Usually people don't tell you when they're hurt, you know, like usually people don't tell you when they're feeling something of that's actually affecting their day to day. And I felt like that song paid tribute to I guess like the first time I could open up, and I'm glad I was like last page because
Mhm.
it felt like my first page because it's my first song, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, that song was definitely big. It was very impactful for me. It was definitely like the Band-Aid.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, I love these stories. I could talk to you all day, but I can't keep you here all day. So before I let you go, we're gonna play a really, really quick game before I have to, end this. So I'm gonna ask you to make a little playlist. I'm gonna give you some vibes, some moods, and you're gonna give me an R&B song or maybe a folk song that goes with it. Okay. So
Playlist. Oh, you got one.
so the first song is what's a song that puts you in a good mood?
Oh, me, Erica Badu, for sure.
Dope.
For
Love
sure.
Erica. What's a song you would play to turn up to?
A song I played to Stay Up, Kanye West.
Okay. All right.
Unreleased, yeah.
What's a song you would play when in love?
Do you know D'Angelo? I'm in really love with you.
Of course, I know.
Yeah, that's my record. That's my song.
Like D'Angelo is just amazing, like out of this world.
He's out of here.
So good. What's a song you would play when going through a breakup?
Um, what's that song by Cleo Soul? Build Me Up.
Okay,
Cleo Soul, Build Me Up.
another amazing artist.
Yeah.
What's a song more people should know about?
A song that more people should know about. Wow. Should I actually give us away? Ah,
Mm.
okay. Everyone should go listen to She's Still Here by Cody Chestnut.
Oh, I don't know that one, so I got to look that up. Thank you. And the last one, what's a song you would play that reminds you of summer?
Be My Summer, Snow Allegra.
All right. Well, that is it. That is your playlist. So thank you so much for creating that with me. Rhyan Douglas, let the people know where they can follow you and keep up with you and anything else that you need to let us know.
So you guys could follow me on Instagram at Mr. Rhyan Douglas. You can also follow my TikTok, which is Ryan Who, RhynHoWho. Wow, can't spell.
Okay.
But yeah, you can follow me on my Instagram and my TikTok. I definitely have a lot of stuff going on there, and keeps you in the update.
All right. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to speak with me. I truly appreciate it. I hope, this is one of just many interviews because I feel like there's so much more that you have to give us. You're just starting, trying to see the guitar performance. So super excited for that. We're going to look for Circles coming out next month. And for now, we are going to keep streaming these songs that you have. And so thank you so much again for coming on the Total R&B podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed my time here.
Of course. And my name is Loreena, the host of the Total R&B podcast, and we'll be back with a brand new interview.